Hey, what's up, those connects out there in high vibes? In today's video, I just wanted to talk about actually something that Brother Austin had talked about being in the present moment and actually being in the moment. And I was actually syncing up with some of the stuff that he was saying. And I just want to kind of like make another video on it as well, because I was gonna make a video on that, but I was busy at work and things like that. But now I got some time, so I'm out here in the sun getting charged up. So I want to make a video for you all. So basically, what is truly being in the present moment, like actually being present in the moment that you're at right now, like how Austin said in the video, it's like when he was choking on that pineapple, he wasn't focused on something else, he wasn't focused on some what if this whatever what else was going on the outside. He was focused on what's happening basically on the inside of his throat. That was being in the present moment, and that was a great experience to basically be in that present moment, because the ego, when you're not in basically the present moment, when I talk about going with the flow of spirit, see, when you're just observing your thoughts and everything that that you think and all the things that you're doing, it's not that you're actually thinking the thoughts, it's actually you're observing the thoughts that are coming through the mind and stuff, and your spirit that is inside your body basically is observing what is actually happening. And when the ego basically, when I talk about like there's a bridge and like spirits on the other side, and spirits trying to get you to that river of water, basically, what that actually is being in flow with spirit, not letting that blockage of the ego stop you from actually being in that present moment, because the ego also take you out of the present moment. In one of my videos I talk about making expectations, basically, it actually seems like it's gonna sit there and do all this other stuff, basically, it's gonna try to get you to think about, I need to have this certain expectation, so I have to start reaching for this goal, or I have to, start, basically anything with your mind that deals with, taking you out of the present moment, that's, dragging you to a different way of thinking, or like taking you out of the flow of spirit. Because, when you get in the flow of spirit and actually being in that present moment, that's what's going to help you actually get on your SNS. That's what's going to help you start to see and be more observant. That's why you want to become observant, because being in that flow is going to actually help you, and humbling yourself to humble yourself to the observation of what you're actually seeing. So that way, when you're actually observing something, you can actually have a greater, perspective on something that you see, because now that you're not letting the ego take you out of that flow, you're actually being, your imagination is flowing. The spirit within you is observing reality for what it is, and seeing both light and dark aspects of it, and you're actually starting to get certain downloads. You're starting to perceive things in a different manner. When you hear things, when you see things, you start to see things in a different light. Basically, your perspective is not going to be the same, because it's when you're in the perspective of the ego, the ego is going to be telling you to do this, it's going to be telling you to do that, it's going to make you think that you need to be this or you need to be that, it's always trying to make you go this way, that way. It's trying to tug you, pull you, take you out of the moment that is right here, right now, that you're watching this video. It's being in that present moment, humbling yourself and allowing yourself to have that inner peace, that inner calmness within you. Because when you're actually, calm and actually serene, and you're just flowing with spirit, you're just observing everything. That's the reason why when you're meditating, you're actually learning to go within and allow that flow to actually take course. And that's why you're supposed to like quiet down your mind, because you're actually supposed to get in tune with the flow of spirit, so that way you can get that connection. Once again, it's like swimming down a river. If you're trying to swim up the stream, but you're supposed to go down the stream where the ocean's at, so you can join a bunch of people where at the ocean, where all this fresh water's at, you don't want to be going up it's actually could be put both ways. You could go towards the sea, or you could go toward the source of the thing, but it's both duality. You're gonna find different aspects both when you go up the river or down the river. There's different metaphysical things that you could say, that basically can apply to certain things, because we live in a dualistic matrix system. So understanding that, it's actually going to help you, see both parts. It's not going to be just one thought that you're going to have. You're going to have this different type of feeling that's inside of you, basically, where you can actually see, all right, I get this information, but I also have this information. Now I can acquire both light and dark aspects of information. Then I can choose how to apply which information that I have by being in the present moment, actually being observant of my thoughts and the things that are happening around in my environment. So that way, you can tune into a higher frequency, because once you can do that, that's when your life really starts to change. Like you start to see all the agents that get super activated. They'll come and try to take your energy. They'll try so hard to get that energy, because when your consciousness continues to rise and you continue to like surpass your old limitations, you become a newer person. You're never gonna stay the same. It may seem, but you're only observing the changes that are going on in this physical reality, because you're observing it. that's why becoming observant is one of the most important things, and that's why meditation helps you become observant, because a lot of people aren't even being observing. They're just sitting there in drone mode, becoming a robot, or they're on the hive mind status where they just start to become pawn pieces, and like they start, doing stuff that they normally wouldn't even consciously be. If they were consciously aware of, they'd be like, all right, I have a choice. If there was something negative going on, they would be like, all right, and they're conscious of it, they could dictate it. But no, the ego's in the way from being in that present moment. They got people always pulled off to different sides of, dualistic parts of the reality. They'll have them on one side and they'll show them this other side. They sit there and play these games of chess with people, so that way, it keeps them in a state of confusion, or like just basically separated from actually being in that source. Because if there's a bunch of people in the flow, it's just a good time. People are having a good time. They're observing things, seeing things from a higher perspective. But there's these people that don't want you to understand this, because if you can tune in to yourself and to your spirit, that's when you're gonna see, all these things, all these thoughts, these desires, were just the ego's wants. Your spirit doesn't care about having everything in the world. It's okay to have things. Your spirit understands that, but like, you will flow to a point where like you can get, well, I want to put this out there real quick as well. There's some point in your life too, on your spiritual path, you can find different answers in the physical by observing things, but at some point in your life, you're gonna have to go within, the true answers, which aren't really words to describe. They have to come within. It's an understanding, it's a perspective, a viewpoint that you can see. The higher that viewpoint goes, the more intensity it gets. Just like on a higher frequency, the higher the frequency, the more higher pitch it goes, just with your eyesight. And being in that present moment of basically not allowing that to like stop you from getting to higher perspective. You want to get to the highest perspective that you can get, because the more higher you get, the more you see, and that's when the agents will try to come around. They'll try to always be running scripts on you. They'll always try to program you, bring in the con cycles. They'll try to slither into your mind. They'll try to get into your dreams, tell you that that Astro's not a real MC, because a long time ago they tried telling me that Astro wasn't a real MC. But I know in my heart, my MC is a real true MC, and my gratitude to him for all that he does out there, because he puts in a lot of work, and a lot of people always just expect free stuff in return. Nothing comes free in life. Everything has to be worked for. In order to get to where you are, a part of you that you once had, that you thought you were, will have to die off. It's like a tree. Sometimes a tree branch has to die in order for a new branch to grow a certain way. That's why you always have to continuously grow. There's never going to be one part of you that's going to be the same. And that's when people like, oh, like when you start to grow on your spiritual path, people are like, oh, if you change, you're not the same person anymore. It's like, yeah, it's because the reason why that is because you never stay the same. You always change. Just like out in nature, things always change in life. You will always change and grow on your spiritual path. The person that you once were a second ago will never be the same person that you are now, that's in the present moment. That's why being in the now moment is who you truly are, and being in your spirit is what's going to truly get you out of here and tuning in and being part of RTM, be part of RTM Spirit Family community, because that's what's going to get you out of here. It's not about being separated, about what's actually coming together. And make sure you turn up, get your solar rays, get charged up, stay shielded. These agents out here will try to stop at nothing, basically, to get you into a lower vibration. They'll send you negative energy, like they'll always try. It's regardless. It's there. It's adversity. Grow from it, learn from it. Don't let it stop you. Don't be afraid. Stay high in vibes. And my full love to all that are watching. Peace and out with my highest vibrations. And stay turned up. And check us out at reprogramthematrix.com, of course. And yeah, get tuned in and turn up.